Generous and loving spirit, I am connected. Intuition guide me as I step into the cosmic ocean of profound love, creativity, instincts, and emotional vulnerability, and ask you, Spirit, to nurture and care for our well-being, for myself and for those around us. And so it is. Today's reading is on the gatekeepers of the root chakra. The inspiration came to me on my last reading when I was doing the ink blot reading, and at the very top in the roots there were these gatekeepers, and it led me to a 7-card tarot spread, and that's what we're going to do today. The gatekeepers are the inner guardians of safety, survival, ancestry, home, and belonging. So gatekeepers of our roots, show me what will help us stand steady in our life. I will be posting this tarot spread eventually. I did it personally for myself, and I wanted to share it as a collective, as a group thing to all of you. And if you're wanting to do it on your own for more of a personal reading, it will be posted on my Instagram. Okay, so the first gatekeeper that we're going to get in touch with is the gatekeeper of safety. And the question is, where do I currently feel safe and supported in my life? What is already holding me? So let's see. What is already holding you? Eight of Wands. So it's not just one thing that is holding you. You are holding, or this gatekeeper is holding a lot for you. There are a lot of strings attached. So maybe you don't feel safe and you feel like you need to flee, but you need to get a higher perspective. You need to allow your roots to grow and form, and ask this gatekeeper to show you a different perspective. It feels like it's very deep in what it is that you are being sheltered from or being held safe from. It is under a lot of umbrellas. It's not just one thing, it's a lot. And it's a core wound, or it could be 3 core wounds. But there are tentacles or roots that are impeding you to fly higher and get that perspective. You need to cut all these cords off. Because this gatekeeper is free and is allowed to run from what it is, but it's holding you and your umbrella and your family tree. So maybe with that, there's some ancestral lineage that you need to really look at and cut off. Is this what is going to serve your higher purpose, your higher self? Or is your judgment being clouded? And it's like, I see that there's like some clarity coming in this aspect right here, but it's still very dark, and you need to uplift yourself to get to this freeing moment. The second gatekeeper is the gatekeeper of fear. What survival, fear, or scarcity story is blocking the roots? What keeps you bracing instead of resting? The Knight of Wands. It was in reverse, but I'm gonna have it upright for this purpose, just so we can get a look at it. I feel like because it's like a ring of fire, it's what is fearful in your life and your roots is change. Jumping through that portal of the unknown. It's one core wound, I feel, that is really intertwined, and it's spiraled, and it's grown into something much bigger than what it really needs to be. In fire, there's transformation, and there's like the phoenix rising as the phoenix, and the ashes burning, and again with this like this clarity sense. You're above the trees. You're above the trees, so um you're able to run free through the forest because your perspective is not askewed, but you're relying on something else to take you there, not yourself. You don't have faith in yourself, or you don't have faith in spirit, or you don't have faith in anything. And you need to be able to unwind and go back to that core wound of this fear. I wanted to look at the Knight of Wands a little bit closer. Um, so here it is. The Knight of Wands is a daring horsewoman who is jumping through a ring of fire. The background is dark and ominous. Only the stars illuminate the scene and reflect the knight's courage. Dangerous flames surround her, but her confidence makes her unafraid of taking risks. She can be impulsive without thinking of all the dangers that lie ahead. She is full of energy and the longing for adventure. So instead of resting, you're bracing because you have all this energy and you're longing for this adventure, and but there's this, I feel like, a lack of confidence, and you're afraid of making these risks because being so in the past you've taken these risks and it's maybe not taking you where you needed to. But I see that if you took control and had more confidence in your roots and in your groundedness and like this self, your groundedness, all of those aspects of yourself, your confidence, the solar plexus, taking those risks, it wouldn't impede you. You wouldn't feel the lack of. You would be confident in trusting yourself and your chariot, right? Okay. The third gatekeeper, ancestral memory. What inherited pattern or lineage story is influencing my foundation? What am I carrying that may not be mine? And it kind of goes back to this here. These are carrying a lot, right? The Wheel of Fortune. There are a lot of mechanisms within yourself that you are carrying. That ancestral memory, it's literally fueling your heart and your divine timing. So if you let go of that and cut those cords way down here in the shadows and the depths of your roots, it would not be impacting who you are. Because once you get past your heart, your throat, your third eye, and your crown, it's clear from this. But it's from your roots to your sacral, to your solar plexus, to your heart. There is so much that is feeding you and wired in you that is making you fearful, not feeling safe. And that clock is like ticking, and it's like a pendulum going back and forth, back and forth. And it's driving your whole system of who you are, your roots. And it's like there's so much that you're carrying that is not yours that is impacting your life. And it comes back to your safety and it needs to be cut off. You need to expand that and find that groundedness within yourself. Because your foundation is being built on the history of your ancestors. And it's a pattern because it's not changing because you're not changing it. And it needs to be changed because your ancestors never did anything about it. And it's like all of these pictures I have one person, one person, one person, one person. And it's like, you are the one that needs to do the change if you want to move forward. And the only way to do that is to look at your roots. What is keeping you stable? What is not keeping you stable? What is holding you back? What is grounding you? What is, all these things that you need to ask yourself. What is driving your heart and your roots? The fourth gatekeeper, the body. What does my body need right now to feel grounded and secure? Practical, earthly care. The body. What is your body asking for? I heard nourishment. Again, with this here, it's like whatever you're feeding your body is in your soul and your mind, all those things. Whatever you're feeding it is going to be you're driving you. So if you're eating garbage, you're probably not going to feel good and you're not going to want to move forward. The body. What does my body need right now to feel grounded and secure? What does your body need to feel grounded and secure? The Four of Wands. It feels like it needs, it's like a layer of things. It's not just one thing. It is a layer of things. Maybe four things because it is the Four of Wands. But let's look at the book. I feel like what I'm wanting to say is like it's right there, but like it needs to be coming from this source. So there's a specific source that it needs to be coming from. So maybe that's like a guide that you need to connect with. Four of Wands. There's a joyful celebration today. On top of a large house, a young couple dances jubilantly. They have decorated the house with shining lights and are now welcoming the arriving guests. Four trees are framing the house, symbolizing stability, harmony, and foundation. The colorful birds delight in the couple's joy de vivre. The whole atmosphere is bright and full of happiness and harmony. Your body needs joy. It needs your atmosphere to be bright and stable. So it's not necessarily what you're feeding it, like food wise, it is your surroundings of what you need. So maybe you need to adjust your house and the things that you're allowing to come in and what is leaving. Maybe you need to be around the trees more and birds, and you need to have things that light up your joy, little lights. Open the windows, open the doors, have more flowers, have more natural light coming in and the sun so your body feels joy, and that sun is connected back to the sacral and the solar plexus. Like those two things are connected. Your body is craving natural light, your body's craving nature, it's craving birds, it's craving, all these things that it's not being satisfied within. I just saw number 14 on the clock, so maybe you can go back to your roots of the age of 14, and what is it then that you needed? What did your body need then? Because we're talking about the roots, and it could be something that was lacking back then. Okay. So the fifth gatekeeper is the key. Funny how this is the Four of the Wands. It's how celebrating, anyways. How can I strengthen my roots and build true stability moving forward? This could come up as an action, ritual, or a mindset shift. So again, the fifth gatekeeper is the key. And how can I strengthen my roots and build true stability moving forward? Okay, Five of Wands. How can I strengthen my roots and build true stability moving forward? The Five of Swords. So I feel like this is more like a mindset shift because it's the Six of Swords. Oh, no, not the Six. It's the Five of Swords. On this card, we see a couple after a struggle. The man has lost the fight and turned himself away into the shadows. He's mentally wounded, and his hurt feelings have been mended with 5 scarlet stitches. The woman won the fight and stands in the spotlight. She's wearing a red dress, which symbolizes the drama and emotional conflict the fight was about. In one hand, she holds a fragment of her opponent's wounds. In the other hand, she holds a large flower symbolizing her triumph. The flower hides half of her face, indicating that she has not played fair and wanted to win at all costs, no matter how much pain she has caused. Conflict, defeat, self-interest, winning, dishonorably, manipulation, unfair advantage. So, coming back to your roots and building true stability within yourself, finding that harmony, acting with integrity, and reconciling with yourself of all the harm that you have done, being honest with yourself, and looking at, I know these are two people, but looking at your shadow self and forgiving yourself and others, because there is this mental wound that has affected you. You maybe have been manipulated in the past, and that was how you were taught. But I think in your roots and deep down in your bones, you know that is not right because you're hiding. You feel dishonest, and there's a piece of you in your hand, and you know how to fix it, but you have to lend a hand to yourself. You have to be that puzzle piece. You have to do the work. And just stitching a wound is not going to allow it to heal, covering something up. So, really looking at your shadow self and like finding the key within your mind to make that shift. Otherwise, it's never going to happen. And it's like the body is craving harmony, the body is craving um, connection. And you can't do that if a part of you is wounded. You need to look at yourself with that intention. Um, so in that there is action, and you could also find a ritual or ask your guides to show me a ritual to um help build your stability and your truth, and so you're able to move forward because you don't want to be stuck here. You don't want to have to be constantly shifting and dodging. You want to be grounded and you want to be able to move forward, but you have to ask your guides to help you find that way and not hide behind a mask or something that looks delicate, because the shadow work is not delicate. Number 6, the boundary stone, where I must set firm boundaries or claim my space, or your space in this sense. Where do you need to set firm boundaries? I just heard the collective, so maybe you're a part of a group or collective and setting those boundaries with your community, your family, where you live. Where do you need to set firm boundaries and claim your space? One card, please, Spirit. Whoa. Ah. Magician. going back to the heart space, I'm seeing a lot of green, so it's like you need to put up a shield or, you know, do a spell or some sort of ritual work. And you need to find a space for yourself, an altar space, or something that is only yours, and have that self love time. And maybe you need to set boundaries with your guides and your intuition, and having that different, again, that perspective. I'm going to read this from the book. The card of the magician is about creative power. Okay, maybe that's where you need to set firm boundaries. Talent and in your energy. On this card, there is a hand holding a magic hat, which is the home of the magician. So again, talking about your home, setting boundaries in there, and that being your safe space. With her intention and multifaceted skills, the magician was able to create her own mystical surroundings. So maybe again, there's that need to change your surroundings up so that it feels more like you, and not having this mask, and it feels more mystical and magical, and bringing in all of that. An abode full of plants and animals, so maybe you need more animals in your space. Maybe you need more plants. Her skills are manifested through the four elements, which are represented by the magic wand, fire, swan, water, plant, earth, and butterfly, air. She taps into these elements, channels the creative energy, and produces magical results. Manifestation, channeled power, inspired creativity, and confidence. Again, there's this lack of necessary skills, manipulation, careless planning, misguided use of power. So, setting firm boundaries for the things that you want to manifest, when you want to channel these energies and this power, and when you want to have this creativity, and when you have this confidence, channeling all this information so that you're able to grow and move and go through all these steps to claim your space, to claim your roots. And then the last card is 7, which is the outcome and integration. What grounded embodied stability looks like for you next? What does it look like? Grounded embodied stability. There we go. It is 7 of Wands. It feels like you have your boundaries set. There's some self-love. There are things growing within you. There's those roots have opened up, and clear skies are coming in behind you, illuminating your path forward. And you're breaking free from this manipulation, this energy, and there's elements of stability within your energy and the strength that you put out there. I just feel like integrating all these things, like listening. You're doing the work. You're doing all these steps to find the courage to know what your stability looks like and feels like, and embodying it fully, which is exactly what the outcome should be, and integrating it. But on the other hand, if you don't do that, it's just going to be a lack of. You can see the clarity being closed and the roots closing in on you, and you feel like you're trapped. And there is still like this gut wrenching manipulation being played within yourself. And the courage is screaming at you, not to help you, but to make you more fearful. And you're not listening. You're not doing the self love, and you're not growing. That, on the other hand, if you don't do it, right, it goes both ways. Um, that is all I have for you today. And the gatekeepers of your root chakra. Again, look on my Instagram. I don't know if I'm gonna post it today or tomorrow. We'll see when I'm able to. But yeah, it's always great to look at these kind of spreads for yourself and not just such a general outlook, but having it for yourself and more personalized and with your guides. You know, it's you can get a deeper level and more information. But this was just a general reading, and I hope that you found information that helps you grow. And I will see you next time. Thank you.